in the operable controls, we'll be checking with the buttons. So yesterday we started with what is the purpose, advantages, disadvantages, and some types of buttons. So here we have seen the command buttons are there. Then we have a buttons which is on the menus, on the menu bar, which we call it as a toolbar buttons. Generally, this toolbar buttons, and you can see that in this toolbar buttons, all the sizes of the buttons are same. Okay, and they also grouped in some kind of fashion, logically related, they are grouped. So we have seen this also. And one another kind of button is symbol button, where the symbol is inscribed on the button. So these are the three types of the buttons which we have seen yesterday under the operable button controls. And then with command buttons, how the label should be, which we have seen yesterday. Then we have seen the general guidelines with respect to the size, with respect to number. Like after label, we have seen the size. Generally, provide the size as large as feasible and maintain the consistent button heights and the widths. So you can see here all the buttons which is shown here, the size is consistent. We can say instead more than same, we can say a consistent. So height wise and width wise. And here also they have shown that instead of making just to adjust your look or something, this color palette, they have taken the width of the color palette as big as these three buttons can be covered, so that, but instead of that, it is better to show like this, where you have a color palette. And what this double triangle stands for, that also we'll see later. Then we also talk about the total number of buttons. So restrict the number of buttons on the window to 6 or fewer. So these are the general guidelines. They are not saying it is a mandatory part. It's general guidelines which is saying restrict the number of buttons on the window to 6 or fewer. So this is with after label, we have seen the size, number. Then with respect to location also, we have seen yesterday where the location, so maintain the consistency in the buttons location between the windows. Never simply fit the button in the available size. So that's what, never simply fit the button in the available size. Here that's what they tried to do. This color palette, because it's a fourth button, so they are just fitting so that maybe little look will be same or something like that, but this is the proper way to show it. If buttons are buttons are for exiting the dialog, then position them centered and aligned horizontally at the bottom. So we have seen this yesterday. Some more points like we have with respect to location and layout only. For exiting and the expanding invoking features button, do not align with the other screen control present displayed within the line border. So what this exactly they are saying, these are nothing but the invoking features or expanding dialog buttons. Why it's calling as invoking? When we'll say configure, there is a three dots. Network, there is a three dots. Add printer, there are two opening kind of triangles, right? So these are nothing but which invoke some features. It is not doing exactly the action, the configure or network, it is not doing exactly some action, but it is invoking some feature, some more window when we'll click on the configure, and then it will do the some of the configuration in that window, and then when we'll say okay, then the actual action will take place. Same way for network also, it will invoke some another window in which network related settings will be there, features will be there, which will set, and then when we'll say apply or okay, then it will do. Then this printer add printer is expanding dialog button, expanding dialog button, which says that it will expand another kind of windows where more number of buttons will be there, and again we'll do the settings and some more things, and then it will take a action of actual adding the printer. So these are the different kinds of these are the buttons with some more action or some more features are added, where this OK and cancel is simple kinds of buttons, where when we click on the OK, immediately the action will initiate. Here when we'll click on the cancel, immediately the actions will take place. So that is the exiting button, right, where the actions will start immediately. But in case of configure, network and all, it is invoking or expanding kind of buttons, where it will open some more buttons, some more small window, in which we need to do some setting, and then the action will initiate. So when such kind of buttons are there, right, we are talking about location and layout. So when such kind of buttons are there, what we need to do, we should align within the next to that only. It should not, don't align with other screen control. Do not align with the other screen controls. So align. So when we click, it should open next to it only. When we click on this, it should open next to that only. It should not align with some other buttons, right? So provide equal and adequate spacing between the adjacent buttons. Provide adequate spacing between the buttons and the screen body controls. You can see that between the configure and network, there is exactly small space. Same thing between the network and add printer also. So all these things you can see here with respect to this command buttons. Then we have the next some more features with respect to command buttons. Guys, 1 second, just you can see the layout of this also. This is also like the very expanding kind of window. You can see this button, select all. So in this select all, we are having, when we are clicking on this, it will select all the check boxes, right? Otherwise, if you don't want to select all, we can select the one which we want. But when we wanted to select all, continuously clicking individually on one checkbox will take more time. So in that case, this will be very useful. So you can see that it is called as contingent relationship button with the contingent relationship to a control. So you would have seen this kind of features in many applications. So you can see that next to this only the particular button is there, so that the user can understand if we want to select all the options, all the check boxes, we can click on this. Same way you can see another figure where here customer and billing. And when we'll check for this customer, name, street, everything is here. So for the same customer only, the billing option is given over here, right? And when we wanted to do the billing with respect to this, then we'll click the invoice addresses, right? So this button which is there here, it has a contingent relationship with this window also. Even though this is within this window, even though it is in the billing window, it has a contingent relationship with this window also, right? And both the windows are logically related to each other. So whatever the customer names, with respect to that customer, the billing will happen and the invoice will be created. So this is comes under the location and layout. What we are actually understanding, we are understanding with respect to the location and layout, where the buttons which has some kinds of expanding dialog box, where it has some contingent relationship and all, then we should, how it should be located, right? That is what we are checking over here. Okay, so next is with respect to organization. So organization, what it is telling with respect to organization of the command buttons: organize standard buttons in the manner recommended by the platform being used. For other buttons, organize them in common and customary grouping scheme. For example, for the buttons ordered left to right, place those more frequent actions to the left. For the buttons ordered top to bottom, place those for more frequent actions at the top. So these two things actually we have seen in menu bar also, right? You must be remembering in the menu bar also, we have seen that which are more frequently required. Generally, we should keep them in the left side. If you it is horizontally aligned, right? And if it is vertically ordered, if your menu bar or buttons are vertically ordered, which is top to bottom, always place the most frequent actions, most frequent menus, options, everything at the top, right? So this is the point which we need to understand, because which is required very frequently. Our any human's tendency, it is like that. If it is on the top, it is easy to click it, right? In that way we have to just understand and we have to order it. So which are more frequently. Now they are also saying that the buttons which has tendency of destructive kind of buttons, like keep related buttons grouped together as we logically related, keep it them together. Separate the potentially destructive buttons from frequently chosen selections. So potentially destructive buttons means exit. Sometimes we'll just exit without doing save, right? Sometimes there can be a button which say stop, close, right? So all such kind of which is happening without, by mistake also, unknowingly also, if it should not click on that. So separate it from the frequently chosen selections. Then button found, the last one is saying that button found on more than one window should be consistently positioned. So we have seen with the organization. So in the organization, just you remember that organize your buttons which are more frequent action should be on the left if it is ordered in the horizontal fashion, and more frequent actions should be on the top if it is vertically. Those are destructive kinds of actions are there. Put it separately from the most frequent selections. So there's 2-3 points you can remember in the organization, how you should organize it. Then next it comes with the intent indicators. So you can see that there are so many intent indicators. Here we don't have any intent indicator in the apply. In open we have these 3 dots. In menu we have this one opening triangle. In option we have this 2 opening triangle. In this we have different kinds of intent indicator, right? So all these are the different intent indicators which says that when button causes an actions to be immediately performed, no intent indicator is required, it's necessary. So apply, when we click on the apply, it will take actions immediately. What are the action supposed to be programmed for that particular button, it will start working on that. When buttons, the second indicator, intent indicator is talking about when button leads to a cascading dialog, then include an ellipse with the 3 dots. So here actually ellipse is not there, but 3 dots are there. So generally when 3 dots are there, that means when you click on this, you will get a cascaded dialog box. The dialog box which is attached with this button, and it will be opening into a cascaded fashion, right? And then you, in that you need to do some setting, or you need to add some values or some data, and then when you will say okay through that particular dialog box, then the action will start. So this open button is not taking immediately any action of anything, but it is opening a dialog box, cascaded dialog box. In this, with a button with which leads to a menu includes a triangle pointing in the direction the menu will appear on the label. So here it is talking about when a single this one is there, it will open a menu, another menu of this button, right? So it will leads to opening some sub menus of which is related to this button in the direction this triangle is showing. So if our triangle is in this direction, it will open in the right hand side. If our triangle is in left hand side, showing in the left, pointer is in left hand side, it will open left hand side. If it is up, then it will open in the up. If it is down, it will open in the down. So if it is a single triangle, it stands for, it opens submenus of this particular button. Then next it goes to the fourth one. You can say that when a button leads to an expanding dialog, includes double arrow with the label. So in the previous example, we have seen that it's opening a dialog box. It's not opening a cascaded dialog box, right? It's opening a dialog box which is not directly attached to this button, but it will open immediately next to this button, right? There will be opening of dialog box next to this open, but it is not cascaded. Cascaded means in the cascaded fashion, it will show that it is attached to this button also. And the last one is talking about last intent indicator. When button has contingent relationship to another control that must be indicated, include a single arrow pointing at the control. So this is the button intent indicator, which shows that this particular button will have a contingent relationship with another kinds of control. So as we have seen in the previous example, this here select all. So you can see that it is a arrow with the pointer. So that is what different intent indicators you can use on your command buttons as per the applications which you need to do, as per the actions which you need to take. So this is with respect to intent indicators with on command buttons. Then the default, if there is a default command button, how you will show the default command button? So generally, whenever you will open a window, right, you just remember some of the applications which you have worked. When you will open that application and the first window will open, the main window will open, there will be a number of buttons, but some buttons it will be by default, it will be highlighted, right? That is by default, that will work. It stands that it will be a by default, it will get selected first, like that it will show. So when a window is first displayed, provide a default action if practical. If practical means if applicable, then only you provide. It's not necessary that every time whenever you are opening a window, main window or a first window, not necessary that every time you should make one button as a default button, which will take a default action. So a default should be most likely action which is which is a confirmation, an application of the activity being performed, a positive action such as OK, unless the result is catastrophic. So generally you would have seen whenever you will apply through some form, you will, so generally at the end you will be having that submit button. So the submit button will be highlighted. It will be like it is ready to do that kind of button. It will work as soon as you will click on that. So even yes or no, many times you have seen that we will get some what we can say alert messages. We'll get some dialog pop-up dialog boxes where within these two buttons, one will be by default, it will be highlighted. So most of the time user will select that button, otherwise they will go for the clicking for the other button, right? So that is this when you need to use, when default kind of actions will be probability. And also it's saying that if the destructive action is performed, such as deletion, the default should be cancelled. Then presentation, indicate the default, how you will present that default button. Indicate the default action by displaying the button with bold or double border, right? Highlight it or make that label more bold, or make that particular button with the double border. So you can present any default button with this way. What is the procedure? The default can be changed as the user interacts with the window. When the user navigates to a button, it can temporarily become the default. Use the enter key to activate the default button. Use another control requires. If another control requires, use the use of enter key. Temporarily disable the default while the focus is in on other control, and permit double clicking on the single selection control in the window to also carry out the default command. So sometimes what will be the procedure to select that default button, or to make the action of the default button, right? So whenever suppose we have a default button highlighted and user is working in the window, because he wanted to do some changes in the window, then you can disable your default button, because that time then we don't know whether it will go for the default button only, or it may go for some other option. So if the user is interacting in the window, the default can be changed, right? You can assign a enter key whenever you keep click on the enter key, it should activate the default button. So no, it is not necessary through mouse only. The mouse pointer should take it on the default button and then click, and then the action of default button should work. Through keyboard also you can activate the default button, and generally what are the keys which generally assigned for that? We have seen many times in many application also, it most of the time this enter key, right? So use the enter key to activate the default button. If another control requires, then you should temporarily disable that default button. So that provision also you should do. And permit double clicking. Sometimes you could have seen that in anywhere, if outside of any form, I mean form or the working area, where no components are there within working area, but there is no other components are there. So if you click anywhere in the working area apart from the components, any components, then if you double click on anywhere, it should activate the default button. So this is also we have seen, which will this is the way you can activate the this default button. So this is with respect to default button. Unavailable choices, how you will show unavailable choices in any command buttons. You make that command button in the dim color, make the color of that dim the color of that, or make it gray out. So that will say that it is not available. You can also use keyboard equivalents and accelerators. For example, we have seen keyboard equivalent. Here the keyboard equivalent is nothing but what? This A. And we have underlined that A, which indicates that A is a capital, character A. Through keyboard, you can use character A, which is the equivalent of the apply action, but along with control. So when you click control and A, two characters simultaneously, then it will do the same action as exactly as clicking on the button. So that is the keyboard equivalents. So provide the keyboard equivalents also if necessary. Scrolling, you will not have scrolling to the buttons, but if there are more number of buttons in your working area and it is not fitting into a single screen, you can apply scroll bar to that screen, to that window, but not to the buttons. Okay, and then button activation, the next is button activation. How you will come to that the button is activated? So whenever now I am moving this mouse, right, I am moving this pointer, right? So if pointer is on the particular button, it should highlight that button, which is saying that visually user should come to know that the button is highlighted, means it is ready to click that, so it is activated, right? Or you can change the color visually, you can say, and how exactly it will get activated when you will click on that, right? So if the button can be pressed continuously, permit the user to hold the mouse button. So all this we know. So just how it will be when we click, if we are continuously click, right? Otherwise if you are using back a keyboard, all that we should, even many times we have seen that when we click the button, the visual appearance of the button will change. When we release the button, I mean when we release the pointer, mouse pointer, I mean that mouse left key, then the button will release, and that visually we can show it. So that is the way we can show the button is pressed, change the visual appearance, button is released, change the visual appearance. So all those things which we can use as in general guidelines when we are dealing with the command buttons. So this is all with respect to command buttons.